I want to talk about an unfortunate truth and reality about these situations. On the Discord the other day, this came up, and I went over one of my story a little bit, and I thought it'd be a good idea to just make a video about it. And you know, one of the really sad truths about this is you would expect that once we saw beneath the mask, once we saw the monster that we're really dealing with, that just knowing that we were able to escape from that would be enough to just be incredibly happy and, I don't know, pleased is the right word, but in a space to really move forward. And the problem is that it doesn't really work out that way. Now, you may have like that an instant or initial euphoria where you feel great, where you feel like $1 million, where you think that, it's like, oh my God, I've got my life back, and you think you understand what's going on. And this is what happened with me. And the problem is in that early stage, we still don't really understand what we're dealing with. And we think that just getting away is going to be a huge positive. And it is a huge positive. I'm not saying that it's not, but it's not everything. And what happens is, as soon as that narcissistic rage starts and the smear campaigns come out, and basically whenever you're at the point where the person that you're escaping from realizes that they've lost you as a source of supply and they don't have to put on a facade anymore, and basically the gloves come off. Now, the problem is, you still think that there's some type of emotional connection there or whatever. I mean, you wrap your head around it like, okay, they're a certain way, but they're still fundamentally human. There'll still be fairness. There'll still be something there. And as soon as everything shifts to where you realize that isn't the case, it drags you back down. It basically knocks you off your feet, and you're left basically dazed and confused trying to figure out, what happened and what's going on. Now getting back to this, it's really tough because especially whenever you go through that phase where you feel like, thank God, I finally made a decision. I'm taking my life back. And then you realize that you're stuck or you're tied to this person who is going to do everything in their power to try to destroy you. And what can happen is, the problem is, prior to this, whenever there were an issue or you were having concerns or whatever, your partner still had a vested interest in maintaining you as some sort of supply. So they would still pretend to be invested in the relationship. They would give you those breadcrumbs to, basically to keep you in line, but there is still something there. And in your mind, you think something like that's still going to happen. The reality of it is the second they realize that you aren't a suitable source of supply, that you're not going to fall for their games anymore, they are able to flip a switch and change in an instant. And it's not that they're changing, it's like they don't have to play the game anymore. They're like, okay, well, this person isn't going to be a suitable source of supply anymore, so I don't have to acknowledge them or do anything with them. And it completely throws you for a loop. So the second stage of that is then you're dealing with a situation where now you know what you're dealing with. You can see, the mask, see behind the mask. So that illusion isn't even there anymore. So you're still stuck with being connected with this person. This is incredibly true whenever you still have kids, and either it's one of two things. Either you're expecting them to pay child support to you, or you're paying support to them. But either way, there's still a connection. You can't really get away from them. And then they're playing this sick, sadistic game, and you basically feel trapped. But here's the thing. Their ability to maintain control and to sustain that level of control is going to dissipate. What I mean is as you learn more about the situation, as you learn about what makes them tick, and you learn that giving them power, giving them attention really enables the entire thing. And what slowly happens with time is you stop reacting, you stop responding to their provocations basically, and you slowly take back your soul, basically, and your mind against or from that person. And as you progress with it, they're going to lose more and more power. Now, the thing to remember when that happens is they're going to get desperate, right? They're going to try all kinds of different things to try to maintain that control over you. And initially it'll be focused directly at you, or it'll be, focused directly at you, and then it'll be done through surrogates. Whenever you finally make your peace with that and they're no longer able to get a reaction from you, then they're going to switch to different tactics, like using your kids. If you maintain the course and you allow them to not invade your space, invade your mind, invade your soul, their power just continues to just go down and go down, go down. Now you can say, well, wait a minute. Now how do you deal with that when it's with your kids? Well, you still just focus on your kids and you do that black hole thinking to where you put out whatever the heck they're trying to do out of your mind. You focus on what you can do when you have your children, and that's it. And I'm telling you that as you get better and better with that, the Groundhog Day effect and the ability of your ex to effectively use your kids as surrogates or use them as pawns is going to go down. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to stop. I'm not saying that. They're still going to continue, but you're going to be able to recognize it and you're going to be able to deal with it in a way with your kids to where it doesn't cause that triangulation or doesn't cause that problem. And as your environment gets more and more stable, your kids feel more and more comfortable in your environment, then the crossover effect of that is going to go down. Now, is this going to make your kids realize that the other parent, that they're going to be able to see behind the mask? Probably not. As we talked about in the past, kids want to love both parents as they should, and there's not, you really can't interfere with that. Now, is there a point in time where the ex is going to drop their mask with the kids? Absolutely. Now, it depends on what type of narcissist you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a covert, then it'll probably be subtle enough that the kids won't really see it. Now, if it's an overt, then there might be a situation where your kids finally just can't deal with it anymore and want to have a change. But more than likely, you're not going to come into a situation where your kids are going to basically just say, mommy or daddy's a monster and I want to live with you full time. I mean, that's probably, the likelihood of that happening is going to be low, like I said, depending on the type of person you're dealing with. Bottom line on this is just realizing that this is the normal process, unfortunately, that everybody goes through. And I think whenever I was talking, when I was having this conversation on the Discord the other day, I don't think the person realized that what they were going through, that I had been through the same thing. And I'm like, yep, this is how I dealt, this is what happened with me. This is how I felt about it. This is, the action I took on it. And it's tough because it's hard to see that there is a future past this. It's hard to see that you can get to the point that their level of manipulation and control really doesn't have much of effect on you anymore. It takes a lot of work, guys. I mean, this is not easy. This isn't something to where, you take a magic pill, you read a magic book, you say a magic phrase, and everything just falls in line. I mean, in some ways, it kind of like once you get to the other side of it, you realize, wow, that was actually pretty simple. It's just getting to that point to get to the answer. I mean, think of the analogy whenever you hear about the person who makes the big journey to go talk to the guru on top of the mountain, and they travel all this distance and all this, all this experience, and they go up and they ask the person, what's the answer? And the answer is within you, right? I mean, it's something, it's like, wow, did I really have to go through this incredible journey to find it out? Well, yeah, you do. Because until you've gone through that journey, until you've been able to make peace with those emotions, you can't get to the other side. And that ties in with what we were talking about the other day, where you have to make peace with it, because if you don't, it will hold on to you and it won't let go. It's a really bizarre process when you look at it. But I think at the other end of it, when you get to the other side, it is way hell of a worth it. So on that, I'm going to wrap this video up. If you have something you want to add to the discussion, do that in the comments below. If you like this channel, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, give the video a thumbs up if you like it. And I'll chat with you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.